right. Looking fabulous. Let's get this one going over here. Zoom you guys in nice and close like. Gonna be looking good. Excellent. Get a little zoom over here. Fantastic, everybody. I like it, I like it, I like it. So, yeah, this one's gonna be cool. This one's gonna be cool. It's a literally every single step tutorial. Hi, by the way, my name's Paint with John. Nice to see you again. As you can see, we have our 20 by 24 inch canvas. White on the top. We put our black gesso on the bottom and then let it dry completely so it's not wet at all, okay? Then we gotta use two different products in order to make our canvas wet. So we're gonna use our Grumbacher's Liquid Clear or your Bob Ross Liquid Clear. Or linseed oil works as a replacement as well. And the very first thing we're gonna do is dip in our 2-inch brush into the clear paint and then onto the canvas in the black area, and we need to really spread it out. So even though it looks like it's black paint, it's actually not. It's a clear paint that's making the black canvas even more black, like a varnish would, right? It's just putting a clear coat over our black section of our canvas, and that way we can retain all these dark areas and shadows and such without having to put on too much paint, right? This paint's already dry, well, the black section is anyway. And now we've got this clear, wet coat over the top of it. So while I'm putting this stuff on, you guys check in and you can see we're going above the white area just a little bit. That way we can bring our white down and not have to get too far into our black section. Right? So you guys check in, let me know where you're watching from. And brand new place to go, pwj.info, pwj.info. And that will take you right to this painting, right on the very front of the show page over there. And all you gotta do, pwj.info. That's all you gotta go to, right? Check it out, love it, and then grab it and come back and tell us what to name it, because that's what gets to happen. When you choose a painting live during the show, you get to come back here and tell me what to name said painting, right? So all we're doing is getting our liquid white. That's the sister product to the liquid clear. Putting it onto our canvas and we're spraying it out very thin. You do not want it to be goopy or thick or crazy. So you guys check in. Let me know where you're watching from in the world, in the night. Just wherever you guys are from. In the country, around the globe, maybe in Antarctica. Where are you watching from? I'm going to come back there and read out some of the comments. Let's see. Let's see. Now that our canvas is nice and wet and ready to go. Where are you guys from? Maryland, California, boom, boom, Michigan, Anderson, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland again, Casmere Lighthouse over here, Florida, Ontario, Waukegan, is that how you say that? Urukai, someone said they were from Urukai, California. That's where the orcs are from, bro. The Urukai. So, thank you guys all for checking in and letting me know where you're from. I love it. I love all of you guys. You're fabulous. You're just fantastic kind of people out there. And this is what we're going to do. I need to get a little bit of my titanium white onto my old palette. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll, guys. We're going to paint a really cool little scene today. And I say let's start off with some sunset colors. I'm going to show you every color that we're going to work with. We got our titanium white, midnight black, alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, bright red, Indian yellow, yellow ochre, dark sienna, Van Dyke brown, sap green, dioxazine purple, and probably not our phthalo green. We probably won't need that guy. So let's take our big old 2-inch brush, even with the liquid white onto it, go into our Indian yellow pile. We don't need to have too much paint on the brush, and pop it up here onto the canvas. Now, like I was telling you, the white part of the canvas is wet, as you can see. It will remain wet, and it will stay wet the entire time that we're painting the painting. And that way, all these thick colors that we put up there can blend away and disappear and just be gorgeous. A little bit of my yellow ochre right there. Try not to get the green with it. We don't want a green sky. There we go. A little bit of the yellow ochre. It's a deeper, darker version of yellow. Right? It's kind of like a dusky, sandy, brownish, little yellowy color. So we'll put that up there and let it blend down. Right? We're not necessarily blending it all the way just yet. Okay. Let's come up to our crimson color. As you can see, it's been a day or two since I've painted because all my paints have skin on them now. Gorgeous. Don't put too much of that color up there. I'm telling you, it's going to want to grow down too far. Okay. Go straight into our purple over here. The dioxazine purple, and load it up and just let it rip down into the sky. And the more that we blend it, the more that purple color will just go forever, right? So we got to be careful up there. Let's get a little bit of our blue as well. Oh yeah, Little bluey, purpley tones up there. You guys, gonna be really cool. But we can't very well blend a sky out with that much dark color on the brush. So let's go wash the color off. And then we'll see where we get to, my friends. I just want to see, let me just see if this works. If you just go to pwjinfo, pwj.info, just do it now, and let's see how many people actually listen to me. And we'll see if we can see a spike in the stats, right? So pwj.info, just go over there and check it out. Just even if you don't even want to grab the paint, even if you have no interest in getting the paint, just go check it out, because I just want to see if anybody is going to get over there, right? Oh, there we go. We got people. So it must be working, guys. It must be working. I like it, I like it, I like it. Okay. Let's take our clean dry brush. So we dipped it in the odorless mineral spirits, flung the excess into a trash can, beat the bejesus out of it into the bucket, and then dabbed it off on the paper towel, right? So now all that we have to do is start it with our nice clean dry brush, go into our brightest area first, and we'll start crisscrossing. And the more that we crisscross and mix it in with that liquidy white base coat, the softer it will become. The more like velvety soft it will be, right? The more that you mix it, the more all the same it will be as well. So if you start noticing it all turning into that same color, just stop, just quit, get out of there, stop it, right? We'll come up here, grabbing that purple, and depending on how far we drag that purple color, it'll want to extend across the sky and darken up, right? So we get to choose how far that darkness grows down, just based off the paint on our brush and our pressure on the canvas. Look at that gorgeous little sunset. That's gorgeous right there. I'm gonna take a little touch of black just because it's not dark enough for me up here yet. A little bit of black on my brush, and we'll let it extend down. We're not trying to cover everything. And if it keeps growing and growing and growing and you just can't stop it, dab off your brush on paper towel again. And then we'll get back up here and we'll start doing it again, my friends. That's it. Oh, more than a dozen people over there checking out pwj.info right now. More than a dozen. You guys are awesome. Right? The more we mix up that sky, the softer it'll get, baby. That looks gorgeous. Now, let's grab our fan brush. We're gonna go into our titanium white paint, right? And now, we know we're gonna have a big old mountain up here, so let's pop in just a whole bunch of this white, trying to mush it and push it, get it across the canvas, right? To drop off onto our sky. Come back, grab a little bit more of our white paint, because the white tends to want to mix away with all these bright colors that we have up here, right? So we need a fair amount of white paint onto the canvas. And then we can come up here with our brush and judge how far we let that paint move, right? If we continue to mix it and mix it and mix it, it will disappear and it will blend away and be gone forever, right? So we're in control about what it looks like each time that we go to do it. Do we want it to be nice and bright white and like almost fat and untouched, right? Then don't brush it so hard. Do you want it to brush out and become a little softer? Then brush it a little bit more. Do you need the color to be a little bit more or less white? Push on it harder, right? That's all we ever do. All we ever do, guys. Fabulous. More than 15 people over there checking it out. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Little crimson, little black, little blue. We're going to need to get more crimson, black, and blue out of our box before we continue. But I think we can make up a big old mountain with just this amount of color that we've got going on right here. Now, we'll take our palette tool, give it the old flipperooski, whoop, and just like that. Pull down on a little section of this dark paint so you can see there's a little roll of paint out there on the end, right? Now we have to decide, what do we want our little mountain scene to look like? Does it come up and cut in front of said clouds in the background? Does it stay all the way underneath? Because if you don't pop up into your clouds, you guys, you'll never project any distance. And that's what you need. If you want to have any distance in your scene, you gotta get up there and into the clouds. Don't try to go too soft, okay? Now this place is a real place in real life. It's called Mount Hood. It's a gorgeous little place. So if you're thinking maybe I've seen this thing before, you might be right. You just might be. We're gonna come up here and grab it on the edge, push it, slide it down, right? Grab it on the edge like that, bang right through. Once you've done about 2 swipes, you've got enough right hand motion on your mountain to then come up and grip it right at the edge of the seam where we were just going this other direction and pull it this way. right? Slide it down, slide it down, slide it down. The more that you mix it up on the bottom, the more like an old floating misty mountain it's gonna look like back there. Isn't that amazingly easy? Now let's get up here. Like I told you, we're gonna need to get some more paint out on the old palette. So give me a second. We're gonna get what we need out here so we can continue on. And while I'm doing that, you guys just check in one more time. Let me know where you're from out there in the night. Just wherever you're from. I always like knowing. I don't know about you guys, but I like knowing where all of my watchers are from. So, if you're a watcher, and you're watching right now, just check in, let me know. Even if it's in the future, if it's not during the live show, that's even better. If you're watching sometime in the future, check in. I'll write back to you, the best I can anyway. Fabulous, guys. There we go. Gorgeous. Okay, that's excellent. Now, let's grab our titanium white and our blue paints. We got our titanium white over here. We got our ultramarine blue. We're gonna mix it up into like a blue sky color. It's kind of what we're going for. Big old blue sky painting out here in the day. So, depends on how much white you have. You may need some more blue just to mix down in there and get it the right shade of color. And just like I said, just a blue sky will work out perfect for us. Beautiful, right? Now, let's go grab a little touch of our titanium white, about twice as much as we grabbed the first time. A little bit of our blue mix down here, and then we're gonna mix this guy up into a very, very, very bright version of its own self. That way, this will look like snow shadow, and this will look like bright white snow to us, right? So you guys check in, let me know where you're watching from out there beyond the globe. Are you out in Andromeda? In the middle of Jupiter? On the moons of Saturn? Where are you watching from? Tell me now. Fabulous, this one's looking amazing. So let's come over here and grab up our shadows first, right? We're gonna come off the back side of our little peaks. Just a little touch of shadow, just drop it off there, right? We don't need a whole lot of paint. We don't need a whole lot of pressure. We're just trying to float across, right? So all that we're doing is just letting the paint fall off of the blade, right? Fall off, fall off, fall off. Very lightly, not pushing too hard at it, not doing too much action or anything crazy, right? A little bit of our white paint, and I'll show you just how cool it makes it look when you can get up there and start just dumping off, floating across very lightly across our little mountain side, right? We've scooped up an eighth of an inch of a roll. We need to hover about an eighth of an inch away from said canvas and just let it fall, and fall, and fall. And the more that you push on it, the more smear you're gonna have, the less breaky action that you get, right? Because we're pushing too hard on it. Grab this guy over here. Just a whole little bit of white. Woo! Oh, baby, just like that. Right now we're gonna have a little section where we'll have some shadows in there, and we'll pull this guy down over here, right? All because we felt like it, right? It's up to you guys every time that you go do a little painting. Right? You're in control of what happens in that painting. So whether the light comes down here or connects over here or whatever, right? It's all up to us, guys. We're the ones telling it what to do, not the other way around. The mountain doesn't get to tell us this is where it wants to be. We get to tell the mountain where to be, right? We are in control, guys. Look at that. That's cool looking. I like it. Now, we're gonna take our big old 2-inch fan brush, big old 2-inch brush, and go opposite to the way that we came down, very lightly, again, floating, not out here brushing it, floating across the canvas. Now we were not disturbing the paint, we're just grazing it just a little bit, and that's gonna help it become a lot softer, so we can then put a new layer of paint on the top of it, right? And all we do for this is just kind of tapping it at the base, just literally creating a softer place than all of that thick paint. Right? If we have all that thick, crazy paint up there and we go to put our trees on top of it, it's just gonna hurt. I'm telling you, it's gonna hurt your soul, it'll hurt your paint, it'll hurt your brushes. So, mix it up till it's nice and soft. Get that little bit of floating mountain down around the base. Now we're gonna go back to that plaque mix that we love to use, right? Our black, crimson, blue paint. Mix it all up into this fabulous little dark color that we call Paint with Josh Black. The deepest and darkest of all deep dark colors, okay? Now, Excuse me, ladies and gents. Let's come back here. Grab one little touch onto our Paint with Josh fan brush of our titanium white, and then into this darker paint. So it kind of lightens it up just a little bit. Just a little touch right over here. We're gonna start popping in little things, up and down and up and down, and it's never all the same height. They're never all the same darkness or anything else. And all we're trying to do is just black out, or at least push back our mountain region with this whole forest of trees. Maybe it comes way over here. Right? It just keeps climbing up and up and up. How tall does yours go? No matter how tall it goes, you gotta fill in that base, that center bit, down underneath, fill it in just by tapping at the paint that's there. Tapping, 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 tapping. You can even go way over there if you wanted to. Seriously, totally up to you guys. Whatever you feel like doing on said day is what you feel like doing on that day, right? So we're gonna take our 2-inch brush very flatly to the canvas, a little bit of pressure, and then we pull away by the time we get up to the top next to that mountain. You definitely don't want your trees streaking up through your mountain snow. And now it looks a little funky down here, right? So what we need to do is, let's switch to a different brush. Let's grab our little 1-inch brush so it's not so humongously massive and it won't drop too much paint down here in the bottom. And all we're doing is just, again, tapping at that paint, letting it mix in each time. Each little tap is another mix with that white, wet paint, or base layer paint that's underneath. So every time we tap at it, or mix it, or spin it, or whatever, we get this cool, misty effect at the base, right? Because you can't see everything out there. You're never gonna be able to see it all. You'll never see every spot of every tree or every piece of forest or whatever. So don't try to make it too crazy like that, right? Get a little bit of foresty mist in the background. Oh man, fabulous, you guys. Are you guys finding it easier with the pwj.info? That's what I would like to know. Is it easier to do? Man, this one is so nice, you guys. Already looking fabulous. Fabulous. Now, let's come in here. Let's add one more little bit of forest, just to have this one be a bit different. So we'll, again, take our crimson, black, blue, mix it up into a deep, dark pile. A deep darkness. Coming this October. The Paint with Josh plaque color, because it's so deep and dark and scary. Right? Now, let's get in here again. Now with a darker color, right? Since before we had our white and we mixed it in with our plaque mix, now if we use a darker color, it should stand out as being a little bit closer, since we'll be able to see said darkness in front of all that brighter color, right? They don't need to be as tall, they don't need to be as crazy, they just have to be darker so that they'll stand out as being a little bit closer, okay? We don't need them to go all the way over here because we're gonna put something else all the way over there. So let's do them right in the middle like that. In a little bit of pressure just to fill in the base, dragging it up, dragging it up. All we're trying to do is have that bit of darker color in front of the lighter color in the background, right? That's it. That's going to project our distance. It's going to bring our darkness down here into our black canvas, in which case we can start doing other things there. Right, now you can't really tell that line right at the base of our little trees in the background is not so noticeable anymore because we've stacked it with a whole bunch of depth, you guys. Okay, now let's get out here. Let's start throwing some grass into this old bugger. When I'm using grass, I never like doing just plain green. So we're gonna mix our yellow ochre and our green right on the brush and just kind of tap at them. Tap at it, each color, tap, 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 back and forth until we like what the color looks like. All right, that's what it's all about. Liking what it looks like. Now that's a kind of a brownish, yellowish grass. Let's go see what it looks like out here. As we start tapping, we're gonna go down from our trees, there, right? Tap it in. The more that we go underneath and underneath and underneath, the more it'll look like a bit of a meadow starting to grow out there, right? Now, what color do you want your meadow? Do you want it kind of yellowish? Do you want it a little bit more greeny? Right? It's up to you each time that you're going to do your painting, what your color turns out like. There we go. A bit more of our green. Start to fade it away, right? Up into the top, up into the top, up into the top. Down here. We're in control, guys, literally. Going underneath. Tapping it underneath. Tapping it, tapping it, tapping it. Getting closer and closer, but we have to make those valleys. They don't just make themselves, right? That's not it. It's not gonna work. If you're like, oh yeah, I'll just get up there and just let it rip. That's not what happens back there. We're gonna tap at our trees and our grass area, especially right at the base, just to allow it to become harder to see back there, right? Make it all misty and crazy like, and that way we can't really see the base of the forest, can't really see too much, in fact, right? And then again, the more that we tap down with these little bits, we can change our angle and bring a little hill down this way, just by tapping it in. Tap it in underneath, tap it in underneath. Leave little spaces, leave little dark areas, leave little differences. Guys, I'm telling you, it makes it look so cool. Don't cover everything, right? If we cover everything, then what the heck are we doing? We won't be able to see anything if we're covering everything. Fabulous. And growing down, growing down, growing down. Now, there is a big old ski lift up at this little snow park area, which I went and saw last weekend in the summertime. And it was, well, not autumn, but it was gorgeous up there. It looked exactly like this. So we're gonna take my Van Dyke brown, which is the darker color of the two browns. We got this little trail, this little hill that starts way up there and it rolls through. It's very flat, until it starts getting wider as it gets towards us over here. Right, so it's a very flat line. You don't need to see it until we start making it bigger and more noticeable right here. Right, that way we can tell we're on this path and then it's going off and it's just getting so flat that we can't even tell. We can't even see it back there. Take a little touch of our white, just a little bit. There we go. Scrub it in enough that it mixes in with the brown. You don't want it to just be white, right? You want it to mix in with the brown back there. Little things, doesn't even have to go all the way. We're gonna put some big old trees in front of it anyway, so don't even worry now. Seriously, and then that thing will wrap around here to the front. Let's go back to our darkness, our Paint with Josh plaque mix. You guys again, check in, let me know where you're watching from. I say we're gonna come out here, let's pop in one right there, living right down in the back, right? Start dropping on little branches onto him, pushing in harder as we get down to the base, right? Pop a little trunk onto his butt too. Okay, now it looks like his trunk is sitting right on top of our little pathway, but until we get out there and kind of tap at it, there we go. Now his little butt is back a little further, sitting up on that grass, right? It's all about where the butt sits down, you guys. Let's put another one right here, right there. Gorgeous. Come in here, little tip tappies and chip chappies. And the more that we push down and in, the bigger our branches will become. Okay, we'll do it again, just in case you haven't seen it yet. Come down like that, right there. Right on the other side of our little pathway, tapping in little bits, pushing in more and more as you go down and making sure that you have enough paint on your brush, right? If you do not have enough paint on the brush, then it will not be as textured as we need it to be, and therefore it will not look correct. We're gonna tap this guy up a little higher, tap this guy down a little lower, so we're going higher, lower, lowest, and then we have our little pathway down here. Looking fabulous, just fabulous. Okay, now, I know I'm probably not going to be needing that little bit right there, but if we can get in here and start tapping down and then release our next little section of trees that are gonna come down on this side, they're gonna need to be a little bit taller just so they look a little closer to us, right? So we'll get some more paint, some black, some crimson, some blue, toss them in there. Actually, let's throw some of our green in there too. We'll make some Paint with Josh Grack mix. There we go. Just a nice, deep, dark, thick, crazy color that's going to provide all the texture that we need for our highlights to stick. If we do not have any texturous paint, then our highlights will not stick. All right, come down here. We gotta go taller than this guy, and his butt has to be lower. So let's come down like that. Push it in, bang, right? As long as the butt is lower here and his point is higher up, it's gonna make it look like it's a lot closer to us, guys. Remember, you can grab this one if you go to pwj.info. That's the new schmackaroozy. Woo! Look at him, right? Not every tree's gotta be overly filled. And if you don't like how they look when they're all skinny, then you can go back and fill it up, right? That's the key. We don't need to overfill it to begin with, because you can always go back and fill it up more, popping in more little crazy little things or branches or whatever. And it's just literally pushing against the canvas, creating all that darkness to then push whatever is behind back, right? We don't care about all that stuff back there anymore. You have to let it go. It's gone. It's no longer there, right? So don't let it bother you. Don't let it kind of distract you from doing anything else, because you have to absolutely cover and push back that stuff, right? It's got to go back, you guys. And the only way to do that is to make it thick enough and dark enough that we do push it back into the distance, right? Back over here. Boom! Another little chunk of a tree just chilling out there in the day. And the more that we go down and push on our little chunky little tree, right, the more it's going to push all of our other colors backwards, projecting that distance, popping it back, which is why we don't do the whole background forest from side to side, because we're never going to see the whole thing. Right? We don't do all the grass details because we're never going to see all of it. Right? So you get in there, drop out your chunky old, crazy old little tree. Maybe this guy's even bigger. We're going to launch him down here. Right? He just got another inch taller, our little friend right here. Now we can decide, okay, maybe we got a little hill coming down off of these guys. So we can tap into the tree. I want some of that darker paint on the brush. Tapping it down to make it a darker color down here, right? That way you get that shadowy effect. You can even change that just like a clock. And make it look like you can walk right up there, right? Come down here, flatten it off, flatten it off, flatten it off. So now you got this hill that's leading down, all these shadows, all these dark areas. We got our faraway rocks and trees. Yes! That looks fabulous. Literal fabuticity. Right, come off of this guy, and all we're doing is just changing our angles, not even adding any paint to the brush, just changing the angle a little bit. Seriously, what else do you have to do? Honestly, look at it. Oh my. Whoo! We use oil paints over here. Remember, if you're watching on the Chuba Chubas, just give me the old, click that old button that looks like my hand right here, because it really helps more than you think it might. It really does help, I'm telling you. We're gonna pop in just a couple little bits of, I don't know, bush or darkness or shadow or something underneath our trees back here. There, right? Just because you get those little needles, they fall down, they drop right underneath the tree on our old pine needles and such. And then we can determine what we want to do. If I filled up the rest of this thing literally just like that, you could call it done. You could say, okay, that's a finished canvas. We got all these little crazy things and different bits, and it's just rocky. This is easy for beginners, Sage. That's all. I focus on beginners. I have more followers than almost anybody that teaches painting like this, right? And it's because I don't keep any secrets. I tell you everything. When I learn something, I teach it to you the next day, right? There's no gatekeeping, there's no nothing. And that's why I think we have so many followers, because we literally are just showing you for free how to improve your painting, literally, right? So I love you guys. And by the way, this is what I do for a living. So this painting is findable, and you can go to pwj.info, and that will take you right over to this guy. You can grab it right here during the live show and come back and tell us what the name's going to be. Because you get to title it if you get it during the show, guys. That's always been the rule. It will always be the rule. Put my little brown little path back in there. A little fatter, a little bigger as it's getting closer to us, right? Because that's what we have to do. And now, let's take, we could either take our pathway and whip it around this side, right, and like show it, or we could let it flow off the canvas that way and never see it again. Okay, excuse me. Let's mix up one more big old giant pile of our Paint with Josh plaque mix or grack mix. If you got the green, throw the green in there too. It's just going to help our trees remain a little bit more easily highlightable if we add that green inside our dark mixture as well. So launch it up, spin it over, throw it back. It's disgustingly dark. It's foul. Maybe we need a little bit more black in there. There. Just deep and dark and nasty. And leave it in a little Hershey's Kiss pile if you can. See how it's got some body to that pile right there? That's really gonna help you for loading your brush. I'm telling you, because here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna come in here, we're gonna put like a little tree in the foreground, something to focus on, just right down here. Boop, just right in the middle, growing out, right? We'll take our little guy out here, we'll start popping off little branchies and little stuff, because he doesn't have to be so overly filled up like our guy in the background, right? Or our bigger guys. Don't have to be so overly chunky. Couple little bits, filling in little spaces. The whole trunk's not even fully covered, you know what I mean? Because he's just a little baby little guy. He's not so full. He doesn't have all this stuff, the sucheries Oh, look at him. Does he need a little friend? I think he does. I think he just needs a little buddy out there. A little old buddy just living right down there. Boop, his little old stick. He's a skinny stick, this guy. Right there. Fabulous. Do we put as many or more or whatever, right, on this little guy? Because totally up to us. What we do each time that we go to do one is another chance for us to do it a little differently. Right? Pop out a little thing, intermix their little branches in there, pop them out. And he's a little bit more full than his little friend, right? All up to us, guys. We're the ones in control. Right now, what makes these little trees stand out as being closer and looking like they're closer than our further away back trees, or even these trees right here, right? What makes our little guys closer to us with all these little things out there? I mean, God, I just love those branches so much. Maybe we'll do one more little guy right here. Those branches on that side are just quite honestly perfect, so I don't want to mess with those at all. Yeah, pop them down, right? What makes these little guys a little closer to us? It's their butt. It's where their butt sits. Because if their butt isn't sitting in the right place, right, then it's not going to show the perspective the way that we want it to. Right? We want to take these guys on this little downward angle. Let's get a little bit of darkness down here, and you can still see on the other side. So it's not just bushes straight off the bottom of the canvas, okay? That's fabulous. Yes! So in the sky, we have Indian yellow, yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, dioxazine purple, and then midnight black. And actually some ultramarine blue up there as well. Because you gotta have it all, my friends. And it looks like we got a little errant mark out here. There we go. So I'm gonna get up there and just fill in my snow almost right to the edge. Woo! I like it. Okay. Now, we've got to go back and highlight all this stuffery back here, you guys. I'm going to take some of our little grassy bits, launch them back this way. And just tapping this, we'll get a little bit of color is all. That's it. Tap it in. Give ourselves some little, some details and little stuff and such. Right? Oh, isn't that great? That is quite honestly great, you guys. Quite honestly great. Max Squatch is here. My goodness, I haven't heard from Mackie Squatchy in so long, you guys. I was even talking to Cosmic about old Max Squatch. And then, what was it, yesterday? The other day? I can't remember. A little bit of light coming in from the other side. I know, you guys, that's fabulous. Okay. Now, let's get out here. And what we're going to do is take a very small little fan brush. I'm going to go over here into our sap green. And into our cad yellow, because I never like to just be all green. I think it's too pale if it's all just green. We'll take a little sap green, little cad yellow, and we're gonna go very, very, very lightly on this guy in the background. Just a couple little taps, seriously. We're not trying to make him all filled up. Little things. Again, we don't want to overcover the paint. We're not trying to cover up all that darkness. And if we make these ones too bright or too noticeable in the background, then the ones up here in the foreground are not going to stand out because of the ones in the background are too bright and too noticeable, okay? So don't do too many, little bits. Remember, gotta make your eyes look for those further details, and wipe off your brush or clean it off if it starts to get too nasty. Remember, it will pick up that darkness each time it drops off the color. It's picking up that lighter color as well, so we don't need to have too many. You want to have the spots and the spaces, otherwise your mom's going to yell at you for putting the Christmas lights too close together, right? If we can see things too close together, then our mom's going to come down and be like, listen, told you what to do, and you never listen, right? So, what do you feel like? You're in control, and remember, pwj.info to grab this painting over here. I'm going to go back to our liquid white. Each time that we either wash off the brush or wipe off the brush, go back to your liquid white. A little bit more of our paint back over to our yellow ochre so we get that yellowish, greenish kind of hue to some of these trees. And this guy, remember, he's kind of hiding in the shadow of his bigger buddy back here. So we don't have to do too many. Right? If we do too many, we're going to see too much. And if we see too much, then we're going to have a flat tree. You have to have those dark areas. You've got to have that deep darkness in your tree in order for your highlights and everything to bounce off and remain having that depth, right? If you cover up your tree too much, it becomes flat. There is no more depth to it because you covered it all. You had all this gorgeous darkness, and you took it and you smushed it all and you covered it all up. Right? That's your fault for doing that, because I told you, don't do that, man. Don't be doing that out there. Right? I'm gonna tap in a couple little bits, and remember, it's sunset. These guys don't need to be so bright. They don't need to be so noticeable, and especially down at the bottom, they get darker and darker and darker and darker. But isn't that looking fabulous, you guys? A gorgeous little tree out there in the day. If it gets too bright in a spot, tap at it until it's no longer that bright anymore. All right, what do you think? God, that's looking good. That is looking good. Now I've got this other kind of darker bit of green down here. I'm gonna tap onto the base of this guy just so we have a couple little spots and it's not just that pure plaque mix. Oh, guys. Okay, one more little tree to do in the front. Shit! Remember, you can grab this one. pwj.info. I love that, honestly. I love that. I'm going to come over here to our sap green again with the liquid white first, into the sap green and the yellow ochre until there is no more white on the brush. You don't want to have the white. You want to have that sloppy color back there. Then we'll tap onto our little friend, start dropping off little pieces, little things. And remember, this guy can be a little bit more full, but we don't want to do too many. Otherwise, again, it'll become flat, right? If we're doing too many things and we have too many bits of brightness, especially onto our shadowy side, then the painting becomes flat, right? We don't have that depth anymore. So, if anything, you can always go back in and just tap at those bright areas a little bit, and it will mix it with that darkness, right? Until you're happy with what it looks like. That's the only person that you have to please, is you, right? What do you feel like it looks like? If you feel it looks a certain way, then you do it that way, right? You don't have to wait for everyone or see what everyone else is doing. Are they doing it like that too? No. If you feel like it should be that way, do it that way. You know what I mean? You're in control every time, guys. Seriously. The more that you do, right? The more practice you get at it, the more fun you get, the more things you can start doing, the more confidence you'll have to do bigger things or smaller things or closer things or further with all sorts of things. All up to you. And like I said, it gets to a point where it gets too bright. Just tap at it and let it intermix in with that dark color, guys. And remember, oh, look at him. He's fantastic. Woo! Man alive. What will I do? Did someone think I'm forgotten to do something? Oh, the birds. Yeah, no, we'll put the birds in. Don't worry. We're not done yet. Birds go in at the last second, you guys. The very last detail are the birds. So don't worry about them old buggers down there, okay? What we're going to do is, again, grab our liquid white. Let's go into our yellow ochre. Kind of tap in maybe a little bit of bright red onto the brush, too. Some of our greenery. Right there. Watch this. Pop, 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 pop. Look at all these little differences, little things, little bits of autumn. Man, that's fire. Okay. You wonder what just rips, dude? This painting. My goodness. So, you guys remember, like I've been saying, PWJ, that's Paint with Josh, pwj.info. Take you right over to this painting. It's the very first thing you're going to see. And London spent a lot of time on the eyesight, making sure it looks very cool for you guys when you go check it out. So, if you wouldn't mind, go check that out. Let's see what you think. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, you guys. More than 13 people over there, so if you're looking at it right now, there's other people that might try to take it away from you. I'm just saying. They're mean people. They try to take it away from you when you're right about to hit the checkout button, right? They're just meanie weenies. So, if you're looking at it, get it quickly. Otherwise, it may disappear completely, you guys, and be gone forever. Fabulous. I'm so happy we got this one on the tubes. We did it on TikTok on, what was it, Monday night for the second show. And I was like, and then there was a lot of issues with the streaming and stuff, and so I couldn't pull it and get it up on tube, so I figured we'd do a live one for you and just redo the painting live. And it came out stellar, just stellarly fantastic. So, you guys have to come up with a title now for this painting, right? We need your help. Better than Bob. I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate that. Bob was my grandpa's cousin. But yes, we do have a YouTube channel, absolutely. We're actually simul streaming over there right now. So you'll be able to go back and watch this painting as a tutorial and learn how to do it. I'm gonna take a little of my brown, a little of my titanium white out there. There, just a little bit of that dark sienna brown and the titanium white. I'm gonna pop in just a couple little indications of a tree trunk up here, just a little bit, right? And it's only for when you're really looking at it that you'll notice these little tree trunks and the gaps, the openings in the tree. Right? Tap it, tap it, tap it. Gorgeous, guys. Right? You don't need a big old trunk everywhere. You don't want to have them on every bit of the tree or in the same places on each tree. So make it different, right? Where you decide to put those little spaces. And that really adds a lot of depth to the painting, you guys. It really does. Tap on that guy, tap over there, maybe one, maybe two. Don't put them in the same spot. Boom! Guys, fabulous. Woo, baby. Take your palette tool, make these guys really sharp on the top. Zip, zap, zoom. Just like that. Those guys are good. Maybe this guy back here. Boom, maybe this guy. Boom. Fabulous, you guys. Okay, like I said, you got to get this one. And you got to get it now during the live show if you want a free gift off the Spinny Winnie Wheel. And you want to name the painting your own very self. You got to hurry up because you're going to run out of time if you don't get over there now and lock it in. Someone else may steal it from you. I'm just saying, it has happened before. It will happen again. Okay, let's do our last little detail, which is the Paint with Josh bird family. As everyone knows, we cannot end the show without doing the old birds, otherwise people freak out. They do not like when I try to forget these birds. Caw-caw! Just flying in the night. Oh man, if that's not the most gorgeousest painting that I have ever done. Come down here, launch in the old little JK area. Right there. Whoop! Okay, you guys gotta come up with a title for it. Let me know. There's 17 people looking at it over there, you guys. 18 people now. You could be outdone by somebody just with a click of a button. Seriously. Seriously, you guys. So let's just see. Hey now! Whoop! Woohoo! Mackie! My guy, McDonald McDaniels over there. Grabbed his painting. Mac, you crazy old squatch. I swear to God, when I was there with Danny, we could see a squatch right there. It was Mac Squatch walking through the forest. We were squatch hunting out there. So Mac now has to come up with the title for this gorgeous Mount Hood painting, right? Where we literally were there, standing there, watching, walking up this path, right? Oh, and then it goes back and back and back, and you're like, eventually I'm gonna be able to see the mountain, and you just can't. You just keep walking, there's just trees and trees. The further away from you get, further away from the mountain you get, actually the more you'll see. It's way cool. Such a cool thing. So Mac's gotta come up with a title for this one. You guys that are watching over there, right? Oh, isn't it just gorgeous? Just absolutely stellar. Fabutastic. Okay, so I'm happy that old Max Squatchy has to come up with a title and not me, because you guys put a lot of really good titles out there, and I just can never choose. That's why I'm always happy when the painting goes and finds a home, because then the pressure is not on me anymore to pick a good title. It's on the purchaser. So, Max Squatch has the distinction of coming up with the title for this painting. It is a wildly important galactic decision and responsibility to name your painting. So Max Squatch, choose wisely, and we're gonna hit the old light party. Wood. Did that just say wood in the hood? Because it's Mount Hood. Okay, I like it. I like it. Wood in the hood, you guys. That's amazing. Mac, I missed you, my friend. I missed you, old buddy, old pal. And I'm going to have to redo this sides up here. Canvas with some color, man. Come up here like this. Yes, dude, finger paints, I'm telling you. finger painting is where it's at. Very simple, very easy. Doesn't sneak a little brush bristle over onto the front of our canvas or our sky. And it's just a whole lot easier to do. A little bit of that color up there, a little bit over there. Perfect. Amazing. This side. Okay, hold please. We should have been doing this when we started, but didn't even realize. There we go. Gorgeous, you guys. Okay. So, we'll pop this thing in. Wood in the hood. I like it. I like that. Celestial Durfer it is. I like that. All right. Where is my marker now? I gave Bailey my marker and she goes and loses it. Stinking kiddos. There we go. Over here. Over there. Number 21. 43. Calling it wood in the hood. Boom. Fantastic. Paint on 11/13/2023. We're all going to go to pwj.info. And then I'll take you right to here. Right there. Gorgeous. Absolutely stellarly fantastic. Okay, let's do a light party. A light party. I'm digging it. So, if this is your very first time watching a Paint with Josh show, where the painting did actually go and sell to someone who wanted it, we're going to do a light party, and that means we're going to flash crazy light at the canvas, right? Real quick. And it's going to change it for your eyeballs. Not going to change it in real life, but for your eyeballs, you will notice something a tad differently, right? And since it's for old Max Scratchy, I got to really fix this edge right here. There. Oh, yes. Okay. So, if you've never been here for the light party, here's your official flash warning. We are going to flash lights at the canvas. So, if you are sensitive to flashing light, turn your phone away. Do not look at it for the next 10 to 30 seconds. I'll tell you audibly it's okay to turn back and look when it is, in fact, okay to turn back and look. So, if you're going to stay for the light party, type in the words, "I'm ready," and then keep your thumbs right there. So you can tell me the very first thing that's flashing for you the most. And when I see enough "I'm readies," we'll get it started. Yes! There they come. They're rolling in. So here we go in 3, 2, 1. Light party! Oh, it's gorgeous! Look at it. What's catching your eye the most? The clouds, the mountain, the trees, the bushes, the grass. What is it, guys? Catching your eyeballs as we bring it down in 3, 2, 1. Back to normal lighting conditions, folks. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. God, the fucking mountain is like absolutely 3D. Very cool looking. Very cool. Mount Hood. Right from the freaking snow park and government camp, yo. Like you literally park down there in government camp snow park area and you look at this. Boom, it's right there. You're like, holy shaving cream, you guys. The Mount Hood is there, yo. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Isn't it gorgeous? Okay. Old Max Scratchy, we grabbed the title, we saw the light party, we did the birds and the signature. So happy to have Max Scratch back in our lives, you guys. He's the greatest, isn't he? So, again, you guys can find more on pwj.info, and that is the new redirect that will take you over to Paint with Josh. Way over there. So, you guys have been amazing. I'm going to come back and we'll do like a black canvas seascape, big old crashing monster wave in poople. Purple, blue, and teal. Poople. That's the color we're going to. I'm going to mix up a new color, and it's called poople. It's not brown. It's a mix between purple and blue. Poople. Okay. You guys. In any case, I love you. I don't want the tutorial to go on for too long over there on the tubes. So thank you guys all for watching. I can't wait to see your. I can just feel like I had spit, like a spit bubble, like an old man, just like on my lip, just chilling there for you guys to see. You like it? So one more time. I can't wait to see your guys' version of this painting. Please send it in to me on Facebook at Official Paint with Josh. All one word, Official Paint with Josh. Send it in. I can't wait to see it until I see you guys again next time. I'm so out of breath. Take care. Have the rest of a good day. And blah, blah. Bye. Oh my goodness. Absolutely just fabulous.